You're listening to the Dave and Beck
Beck
Show.
and Dave.
You're making this difficult. I'm Dave.
And I'm Beck.
So, you know how things have not been going well for me.
Right. You've been very sad lately.
Yes.
It's like watching a puppy get kicked constantly.
Yeah.
It's like watching an old man dying alone.
You said dying alone?
Yeah.
Oh, they said dying. Both are sad.
Both are sad. It's
Yeah.
like when you go to Chipotle and you ask for guac and they forget to put it on there.
That's at the same level as the man dying alone.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that'll turn your day
That will.
bad quickly. And watching your life unfold right now has really been like that. And honestly, it's hard for me to watch and it hasn't been fun.
Well, you're making me feel kind of sad again. But I have good news, and I'm gonna pick myself up on this
You
good
have
news.
good news?
Yes. So
Good news, Dave, coming in this morning.
yes. So I was looking through my emails. I was home. I was alone. The wife, kids, they're not home anymore. But anyway, so I was looking through my emails, and lots of junk. And lo and behold, I saw an email from the Prince of Qatar.
Oh.
I don't know if you know this or not, but Qatar, it's like Qatar.
It sounds like
right.
guitar.
It's kind of like that, but it's Qatar, I think.
Oh, okay.
Or Qatar. I don't know what the right answer is. But either way,
Qatar does
the
make it
Prince
sound more.
emailed me. They're having that whole Major League Soccer, not Major League Soccer, the
Cup?
World Cup. They
Right.
have the World Cup over there.
Yeah, bend it like Beckham.
Well, I guess things got a little tight. He's asking Americans, he's shooting out these emails. He said, Hey, Americans, I just need to borrow $10,000.
Oh.
And in return, after the World Cup, when he gets all the ticket money, he's going to send me back 10 times my money.
10 times your money.
Yes. So for the math, just to help you out,
Right.
100 grand.
Whoa.
Yeah. So what did I do? Well, you know what I did. These situations don't come every day.
Right.
I mean, it all
Once
makes
in a
sense.
lifetime.
Once in a lifetime. I was like, I emailed them back. I'm like, yeah, yes, yes, yes. I said 3 yeses. I'm on board.
Whoa, you were really into it. And the fact that he found you out of like all the people.
I think they're doing a mass email to all the Americans, is my guess, because it said, Dear American.
Oh, really personalized. And so this is real and you sent the money.
Right. After I said yes, 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 he sent me an email back. And
Said
he
great,
said,
great, great.
No, he didn't say great, great, great. He said, thank you, American, for making this opportunity. And it was like a
Wait, so
huge paragraph.
You responded, but he didn't even say like, thank you, David. He just said, thank you, American, even though you would have emailed and signed it off as Dave. Great.
Beside the point.
Right.
Why does it matter?
This is for real. Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't know how to say my name.
Yeah, so he just went with American instead. Yeah, because he has to pronounce it over email. He can't just type it out. Right.
Right. He's wealthy.
Yeah,
he
it's like
probably
talk
uses,
to text.
Yes, he probably uses talk to text. Jesus, Becca. Think about this.
Yeah, so you've already sent them your bank information.
Okay, so this was like a few days ago. I sent him over my bank account information.
Right.
Because they were going to just draw it out.
Yeah.
And he drew it out.
Oh.
And
How quickly did that process
It was
happen?
pretty quick. It was within like an hour or so.
Do you feel very close to the prince right now then?
I mean, I emailed them after this. I said, did you get the money okay? They didn't respond.
Oh, sure.
But that's okay because they would have been like, hey, we didn't get the money yet if they didn't. So I'm sure.
Right. So it all worked out. Do you think that he will invite you over to his country?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I helped them.
Yeah. You feel like this is a budding friendship?
I think there's a lot that could happen here. I never met the guy. I don't know if he's like a good guy or not. I hope he is.
Yeah. Have you checked your bank account today?
No, but the World Cup's not over.
Right.
But what I did do, I contacted my wife and I said, guess what? I did it. I said,
Did it just say that? Guess what?
No.
I did it.
no, it said more. It said, I have figured out a way that I can 10 times my money in like no time, and we're going to be okay.
Yeah. And then
And-
did she say, lose my number?
No, she hasn't responded yet.
Not her and the prince leaving you on red right now.
She responded, Dear American.
Well, yeah, I think that this is your ticket out. Or it's your ticket into a lot of debt and no money. We'll see how
Why?
it plays out.
Why a lot of debt?
Maybe not a lot of debt, but like you're not going to have anything left.
I don't
For real,
underst-
for real.
I don't understand where you're going with.
You
this
gave
is an official letter. It said
Yeah.
official
Actually,
on the email. I'm sorry, email. Yeah,
yes.
it said official on the email.
right, and so you sent these people your bank account so they could just go in there
Hey,
and.
Prince. It was him. It was direct. It was him emailing me.
So now, anytime the prince goes and wants to get like a coffee or a dinner, he's got all your bank account information. He could just use that.
No, he's got my information to invite me. He's got plenty of money, I'm sure.
Right.
World Cup is expensive.
Yeah.
He just needs a little help.
Yeah, 10 grand worth.
I'm getting
I'm so
100,000.
glad that you are responding to emails like this because I'm actually about to send you one.
Do you need me? Do you want to get in on this? Because I could tell them I've got a friend who also wants to.
A friend?
I mean, shoot.
Oh no, I'm good though, but I'm gonna ride this high. I really hope you get all your money back, David.
Can we cut that part out?
No, I'm gonna open the show with it. Wow. Well, I'm glad that you've had such a great morning.
Yes, I did. Why? What about you?
I did not. So we'll start with this. Last night, I'm sleeping. I'm in dream world. Okay. I wake up to like this screaming, and it sounds like things are kind of getting thrown around. And I was like, what's happening? What's happening? It turns out my neighbors, our bedrooms, like the walls are backed up together, right? I like never hear my neighbors, but last night they were having a screaming match, okay? Going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Finally, I'm hearing enough, and I'm laying there, and
Well,
I could.
what are they yelling about?
Well, she wanted to go home for Thanksgiving, and he doesn't want to see her family.
Oh, so that's actually what he said?
Yeah, there was a lot of back and forth with it. It sounded like maybe there was some drinking involved, a little slurred of the speech, and then she
Which
just
one,
kept
both or
saying
just the one?
both. She just kept saying, "I want to go home. I want to go home."
Oh.
I know. And so
Did
finally,
she say where she's
finally,
from?
I was like Cincinnati. Finally, I decided to become like the therapist a little bit
Oh, did you
because
yell to
I
the
was
walls?
listening for so long and it was keeping me awake. Yeah, and I said, "Excuse me, I don't think you guys are hearing what the other person is saying."
You said that?
Yeah.
Hold on. You yelled through the walls?
Well, yeah. What else was I supposed to do? They were keeping me awake. I was part of the conversation at that point.
So you said, excuse me, I don't think you're...
Well, I knocked on the wall first.
You were bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
And then you said, excuse me,
Yeah.
I don't think you are listening to what the other person is saying.
Yeah.
But the problem is they don't know which one you're talking to. Like the guy's probably like, yeah, you listen to me. See?
What
And
they
she-
said was, "What?"
Hey, I bet. They're like, what the? They could hear us?
And I said, "She would like to go home." And then it was just silent for a second. And then it was a bunch of curse words. And the guy said, "Leave us alone."
This doesn't concern you.
Yeah, basically. And so I thought I was more qualified, and I really thought that I could be the stepping stone in the relationship that would help mend it last night. And it seemed like a good idea at the time until, they were cursing me out.
Really? I'm surprised that they didn't think, oh, wow, we have this third party here who's eavesdropping in on our conversation.
Not eavesdropping. David, they were screaming loud enough that, I felt that I was part of the conversation. If they didn't want me to hear it, why were they yelling so loud? Really, I thought that they probably just see me
It was a
walking
cry for
around.
help.
Yeah, and they were like, you know what? That girl looks like she could be our therapist. Because I've thought about being a therapist,
Have you?
Yeah, I think I would be good at it.
Really?
Last night aside, I think I would be good at it in general.
Huh.
Yeah, so you being married for as long as you've been married, if you and your wife were having a fight, would you not want someone to interject from the other room?
So if I was...
I thought that they would have welcomed it, especially because I was being nice about it. I wasn't like, keep it down.
Well, you took a side.
I didn't take a. Well, yeah, I did
And
take
a
the girl's
therapist
side.
doesn't take a side. It just tries to get each side to listen to the other
Well,
side.
I mean, I first just said I don't think you're hearing what the other person is saying. I was trying to be objective.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
It sounded more like you were taking a side.
I was taking
And
the girl's side.
you
a
took
little.
the woman's side.
Yeah, a little.
Which
She just wanted
is
to go
so
home.
sexist.
She just wanted to
Because
go home.
the guy's like, look, you want to go home, I get it. But your family treats me like trash. And when I show up, they all point fingers at me, they laugh, they throw empty bottles.
Is this personal experience?
Beside the point, Becca. Beside the point.
At least the bottles are empty. It could be worse. They could throw full bottles.
Yeah. Yeah. They could. So that way when they smash on my head, I don't just get glass in my eye. I get glass and beer. Yes, you're right. It could be worse. I guess anything could be worse. They could run me over with a dumpster truck.
That's true.
I mean, anything could be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm getting at is the guy's like, look, your family is terrible. And all I want is to enjoy Thanksgiving with you, my girlfriend, wife, whoever you are.
Yeah.
And she is being totally selfish
Totally selfish.
and only thinking about going to see her family instead of the man that she's living with in front of her.
Or it's like, I want to see my family and be with the man that I love. All the people I love in one room.
No, because he's going to be miserable.
Why? Oh, because of the bottle on the head thing.
Because they throw bottles at him. Yes. Or they don't talk to him. They just like put him in a corner and have him talk to himself.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know what
Like,
happens.
sit down over
He
there.
clearly does not enjoy his time there.
Yeah. I mean, but if he loved her, he would go. So are
But
you saying
can
that?
he use that? Can he use the same thing if she loved
No.
him, then you wouldn't go?
No, that'd be off the table. That's off the
Why?
table.
It goes both ways.
No, it doesn't. Read any book, David, and you'll understand.
I'm just trying to say that
If
the
you were
guy
laying-
is miserable. So it's like me saying to Holly and saying, "Hey, I want to go to this place. And I know you hate it.
Love
It's
that
the
place.
worst place in the world for you. I enjoy it tremendously. It's so much fun for me, but you can't stand it. And I want to go to this place." And if she says, "I can't stand going there. It drives me nuts. It gives me a headache every time I go. I just can't stand it." Then I'm supposed to say, "Well, if you loved me, you would go." And then she has to go. Like it's a trump card.
No, this is different scenarios. If you're talking about like a place you're going to eat dinner and she doesn't like it, okay, then both of you ex-nay it. This is a family gathering for Thanksgiving when you're supposed to be spending time with the people you love.
But he's not.
But it's her fam.
Except her. That's it. That's all he's got.
I mean, she was crying. She wanted to go home.
she was drunk.
Yeah.
Maybe when she was sober, she's
But
like,
you know
"Why
that,
did we
like,
decide to go?"
Drunk thoughts are, well, no, drunk talk is like sober thoughts or whatever.
Sometimes.
That's the
Yeah,
saying.
like that. It's true serum.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he
So she
came
wanted
out
to
and
go
said the truth. He can't stand her family. She came out and said, "I want to go home."
It's just a Cincinnati, though. Suck it up, Buttercup. So are you saying that if you were laying there, you wouldn't have interjected in on this couple?
Okay, so first, if this was me and Holly, I would go.
Right.
I just want to set the record straight. I'm just trying to give you his point of view.
Like, Holly, don't kick him out.
She knows very well I would go.
Uh-huh.
But what
That wasn't what I was asking, though.
no, you're asking if I
You're
would
just trying
say
to make yourself
anything.
look good right now. Yeah.
What would I do? I wouldn't say anything. It's
You're
not
like,
my-
first of all,
it's
I'm
not
a great
my
husband.
it's not my area. They didn't ask me for my help.
Yeah, but they woke me up.
I understand. Maybe I might like say, "Look, I love the fact you all are fighting and it's great, and you're going to be on YouTube in a second because I'm recording all of this, but you guys need to keep it down."
That's what you would have said?
Not all of that. I probably would have just not done anything unless they
And just
really
lay
kept
there.
me up. If they really kept me up, I might go over and knock on their door.
It was at least 30, 45 minutes that I was listening to this argument go back and forth.
Wow.
And then finally I was like, you know what? I feel like I could help.
And you said, "I want to pick a side," because that's how you help. You pick a side.
I was trying to offer clarity.
Now, the rest of that conversation, even though it might not be very loud, involves her saying, "Even the lady next door says we should go."
I would hope she would say, even the goddess divine woman who lives next door, who speaks and sees the truth, thinks that we should go. That's how I would hope that conversation would play out. Anyway, so I didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
So
and
that's
also
why-
my dreams of being a therapist, I guess, have come crumbling down.
Well, you just missed Psych 101, which is you don't pick a side.
Oh, that's Psych 101?
No, it's not, but you know what I'm saying.
Okay, what's Psych 102?
What do you mean?
Anyway, so then this morning I woke up. I'm exhausted. And I go outside. It's freezing outside. And I think I see a coyote
Oh, no.
in my backyard.
Not one of those.
Yeah. First of all, that scared the crap out of me. I was like, is this a coyote? Is this a wolf? But they ran so fast.
How do you know it wasn't a dog?
Dave, I know the difference between a coyote and a dog.
Do you?
Yeah. I think dogs are fluffier.
Oh, okay.
So now I'm going to be thinking about that, and I'm not going to be able to step foot in my backyard because he was running in the back.
Was it a large animal or a small animal?
It was largish.
Like, would you say it's the size
And
of
it was
a golden
fast.
retriever, or it's the size of like a I don't know, like a Pomeranian?
Are Pomeranians the really
little
cute,
ones.
fluffy
Yeah, they're little
dogs?
ones.
No, bigger than that.
Bigger than a Pomeranian?
Yeah.
Bigger than a golden retriever, or same size?
Maybe same.
Yeah, probably not a coyote.
Why?
Because a coyote is going to be between the two.
Okay, it was between the two,
Oh, okay.
and it had a gray tail. Aren't coyotes gray?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh.
I think they're just like other,
Well, it
all different
freaked
kinds of
me
colors.
out. So then I'm running to my car. I get in the car. I start driving over here. I get to the place, our podcast studio. I'm in the parking garage. And I get out of the car and I'm looking for my keys. And I was like, how did I already lose my keys as I stepped out of the car? Well, then this white truck is in the parking garage and it's slowly coming towards me. And now I've already envisioned in my mind that person murdering me. That's where my mind went. And my heart is racing and I'm like, oh my God, where are my keys? Where are my keys? So I jump back in the car and I sit there till the truck passes. So danger gone.
Right.
I get back out again. I'm like, where are these keys? They were in my hand the whole time. Literally the entire time.
I don't know what to say to that.
I don't either. And then to top it all off, and this isn't me. Normally I am rainbow and sunshine. But this morning, my iPhone updated last night, overnight. I didn't give it permission to do that. My screen, everything looks totally different. I don't know how to navigate my phone, couldn't find my keys, and I might be killed by a coyote.
See,
And my
that-
neighbors hate me.
and your neighbors hate you.
It's not a good day for
and
Beck.
And they know you were going to live next to them.
I know. Maybe I
So-
could blame it on my sister and be like, I didn't say anything.
Yeah, or you could be like, my friend was over and she left last night. Her name's
Amanda.
Erica.
Maybe I'll go that route. That's a good idea.
Yeah, and just be like, yeah, she left last night. She was complaining about how there's a lot of noise going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry that she, said something, but she's gone now. So you don't have to worry
Actually,
about
that's a great idea. I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna lie.
That's what you're good at.
Wow. I don't know what to do about the coyote problem though. Maybe there's like coyote spray I can spray around my house. You think they sell that?
No, but I
Coyote
bet you
repellent?
it's not a coyote.
David, you don't know.
I bet you
Why
it's just
can't
a
you
stray
just
dog.
look at me as my friend and say, I'm really sorry you had that
I
traumatic
don't-
thing happen, Beck. I hope you don't get bit.
First, a coyote's probably not going to bite you.
Are they rabid?
They could be, but they're more
Ugh.
scared. They're more scared of you. than
I
you are of
hate
them.
when people say that. If that spider's more scared of you than you are of it, Beck. And I'm like, no, I don't believe you because I am terrified. And you know what? It doesn't take away my fear.
Okay.
I hate when people say that.
Well, a lot of times it's true.
No. It's way more scared of you than you are of it.
Oh my
Hate
God.
it.
What is wrong with you?
That's my impression of men.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you did bring up one thing now. You
What?
said that your iPhone changed, right?
Yeah. You're just going to take away all my trauma like that really fast without saying it really quick.
What do you want me to say?
I'm sorry.
that your life went really sour this morning.
Thank
It's
you,
so
David.
hard to go 364 days of the year in pure happiness and everything's going great. And then one day you have that bad day and
Yeah.
then suddenly we're all supposed to look at Becca and say, oh, we feel sorry for Becca.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
And then you texted me
And
and,
it's
you
kinda-
said, OMG, you suck because I forgot to get coffee.
Yeah.
So there's that too.
Oh, right. Yes, I appreciate you bringing that up because it's important to understand that there's this not like an uncommunicated
No, first of all-
agreement between people.
I need our listeners, before you finish telling this story, this is a rule that I have never heard, and you're just making it up because you didn't communicate. But go ahead.
It's an
You
unwritten
tell.
rule. The rule is that when you are doing something on a schedule and someone brings coffee one day,
Yeah.
then the next time you are on that schedule, whatever that is, whether it's a weekly, like in our case, or whatever, daily, whatever, you're supposed to return the favor and be the person who does that in return. So, for instance, I brought coffee last week
You did.
because Becca was running behind and decided that she set her own schedule of like, oh, I need to be here by this certain point, even though we have kind of a range.
No, we have an agreement.
And she's running late. I'm like, do you want coffee? So I was going to buy her coffee.
Yeah.
And I bought her some coffee. And now I was thinking, well, this week she will now buy me a cup of coffee.
Yeah, you had that thought. You never spoke it out.
I don't need to. It's like an unwritten,
In
uncommunicated
Dave's world.
rule. And I think a lot of people understand this rule where it's you give, I give.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just take and take.
Right.
It's give and take.
Give and take. Sure.
Or in
Give
your
me
case,
coffee, got you coffee.
Take and give.
Sure. So when you said this morning, you didn't even say like, hey, if you stop for coffee, will you get me one? All you said was, are you getting coffee?
It's called the switchy rule.
The switchy, the switchy rule.
Yes.
Oh.
It's called the switchy rule. It's called switchies. We
Switchies.
switch.
Oh, sure.
So I bring coffee, we switchy.
Oh.
You bring coffee.
And then we switchy.
Well, if we decide to, I have to decide whether it continues or not.
Wait. You're telling me this isn't just a switchy forever? It's just a switchy 2 times, and then the first person who did it gets to decide if the switchies are going to continue?
No. It becomes a switchy forever if it occurs numerous times. But until that moment, when it just happens once, it's just I bought you one, you buy me one.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, I'm going to buy you one. If you return it again, you buy me one. Now we're starting to get into the switchy forever.
Right. So how many times does the switchies have to happen before it's switchy forever?
Maybe like 3 times or more. Yes.
So one person's always going to be the one with the upper hand who gets to just decide.
There's no upper hand.
How come you gave it to me? How come I couldn't just decide
You've already
no more
ended.
switchies?
You've already ended the switchies. But you did it so quick. And then I'm like thinking, well, if I go get coffee this morning, should I buy her another coffee?
Is that why you went with soda?
Yes. That's why I went with soda. Because I said, she's not getting me again.
Because when
She
I said,
already ripped me off once. I'm not letting her rip me off twice.
I really was thinking, oh, Dave's going to come in with a coffee for me.
Do you know what happens? Yeah. Do you know what happens if I do buy you a second coffee? I've now
Please tell
created
me.
a different situation where now it's understood that I will buy coffee every morning
You're
for you
Dave the coffee guy.
for free. And I didn't want that to happen.
Right. So now you came in with the soda.
Yeah.
Okay. So next week, I'm bringing you a coffee. So we're back on the switchies. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's already been broken.
What?
Yeah.
No, I can restart the switchies.
No, you can't.
It's just,
I mean, you can start a fresh switchy,
okay.
and
But
then I can just break it to get you back.
Doesn't work like that by your own rules. I guess I just didn't know. This is life advice with Dave.
Yeah.
There are unwritten things. Instead, in my world, I like communication. If you would have just said, hey, last week I picked up the coffee. Do you want to get the coffee this time? Here's my order.
It's like getting lunch. You go get lunch with someone.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say you're with a friend. Hey, let's go get some lunch.
Yeah.
You get lunch.
Yeah.
Your friend's like, I forgot my card. Okay. It happens all the time to me.
You got great friends.
I'm like,
Wait, are you the person that's forgetting the card?
Or even better, let's just say the waiter forgets to put the checks on separate checks.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And you're like, you know what? I got this one. And you just pay it. Well, there's an understood situation here where the next time you will get mine.
I totally agree with that statement.
It's the
because
same.
Lunch, it's not same. And normally I'm on same side. Not in this scenario. Lunch is more expensive. A coffee is a coffee.
What are you talking about? A Starbucks coffee is like $6.
Your frou-frou ones, not my straight up black coffee with almond milk.
Your almond milk is like $5. The coffee's $1. It's a $6 drink.
Well, next week we'll see what happens. I'll bring you a coffee
All right.
to get back on your good graces.
So I want to. We were talking about psychology a little bit ago, and you said you want to be a psychologist.
Oh,
so
right,
I
yes.
wanted to bring up because I I enjoy psychology myself. I think everyone enjoys psychology
Oh,
at some
sure.
level.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up an experiment that occurred, and I wanted to see what you had to say. This is an old experiment. This was back in the day before ethics were
Oh,
involved
sure.
in psychology. Okay.
Right.
So they're trying to understand the human mind, and they were doing a lot of silly or crazy stuff to people, and so without their acknowledgement or anything like that. Like today, you can't even really do anything without pretty much getting them to sign something that says what you're about to do to them.
Right.
And the downside of that is they kind of see it coming now. But so back in the day, they really could figure things out. So there was an experiment done by by obviously a psychologist at the time back in the 1920s, and it's called the Little Albert experiment.
Little Albert
Yes.
experiment.
Albert was an orphan, so he had no
Oh,
parents to defend
Al.
him. Okay.
Is this going to make me really sad, David?
It may. Okay, so what they did was they wanted to understand fear.
Oh man.
So this little child, who's probably, I'm not sure, maybe 1 or 2, I can't remember. What they did was they wanted to understand fear because they believed that there were certain things that were just part of being a human, that, you know, where fear comes in. And what they did was they gave him, they exposed him to like a white rabbit.
Oh.
And they gave him this white rabbit. And of course, as a child, you know, you're like, oh, cute, fluffy bunny,
Yeah.
right? And then what they did was, if I remember correctly, is they started blasting a loud horn next to the child every time he would be near the white rabbit.
Oh.
And eventually the child started to get conditioned to
Yeah.
every time the white rabbit was around, he would have a very upsetting experience because of this noise that was blasted into his ear.
Right.
And then what they did was they introduced little bits of other things to the child to see if it would also induce the same fear. So eventually they stopped blasting the horn and they would just give him a white rabbit, and he would cry every time he was around a white rabbit.
Oh my
So-
God.
So the child went from liking the white rabbit to not liking the rabbit, right?
Yeah.
So then they started giving him other things. So they gave him like cotton, and the child would cry. They gave him, I think at one point they even gave him Santa Claus's beard kind of thing. Yeah. And the child would cry. So anything white was causing the child to be induced with this fear that something bad was about to happen. And what they kind of found was that people create a generalization around what causes their fear. So it spreads.
Yeah.
So when you have a fear of white, like a white rabbit, it's that white on the rabbit
It
also
leaks into
caused
other
a
areas.
fear of other white things.
Right.
Correct. Yeah. What do you think about that?
First of all, that poor child. Who signs up their 1-year-old?
Well, no,
for
he's
that
an
kind of
orphan.
thing? Oh, right.
He had no
Forgot about
parents.
that.
That's why they
Ow.
were able to get by with this, because there was no parent that said, "Don't do that to my child."
That makes it even worse.
Yeah. So you know, because back in the day, orphans were just not. I mean, they were treated like
Yeah, I've
they
seen
just didn't
Annie.
have it well.
Yeah, with Miss Hannigan.
So can you imagine?
It's a hard knock life.
Yeah.
No, I can't imagine. That is horrendous. And how, as a person, do you sleep at night knowing that you're literally instilling fear into somebody?
Well, I mean,
And why did they pick a rabbit?
Well, I think it's they may have started with something else, but
got a
the
lot of
rabbit
questions.
was like a nice thing,
Yeah.
and you know, and eventually there's like a whole bunch of other things they introduced, and every time they didn't show the child it, because he was so caught up in what happened to the other thing,
Mm-hmm.
he would freak out over the white whatever was
It
white.
is interesting when a fear all of a sudden happens, because when you are a child, you don't like know what to be afraid of. I remember like when I was really little, like bugs and stuff aren't going to scare you. Or like my niece, she had never had a fear of ants, spiders, because she doesn't know there's something to be afraid of. But then all of a sudden, and I think it's because my sister and I would always be like, Luke, come get this spider. Then all of a sudden Elizabeth was like, oh my God, Dad, get this spider. But so maybe we did that to her. Maybe we conditioned her to be scared of spiders.
Maybe, I don't know.
It's just interesting when you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty amazing that they did it to that poor kid.
But yeah, poor Al.
Yeah. Fun fact, Al went on to become a very successful lawyer. Yeah. First millionaire of his time.
Are you being serious?
No.
Did he sue these people?
No, I have no idea what happened to that poor kid.
You didn't even have a follow-up about poor Al?
I don't know what happened to
I
Al.
bet whenever it snowed, was not good for him.
Oh, I bet you it wasn't. He probably didn't like Christmas at all.
No.
Yeah.
Poor Al.
I don't know what happened to him.
Thanks for bringing me down with that story.
Well, it was supposed to just talk. We're just talking about psychology. I thought
Yeah.
this would be a good story.
I mean, it was interesting. That's
Wow.
for sure. Thank you for
Well,
that.
I'll try to find a nice happy story next time.
That would be good. That would be good.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of holidays and Al, do you think he's still alive?
No.
Al, if you're listening.
1920s,
Oh,
maybe. I guess he'd be in his 90s if he's still alive.
Al, if you're listening, I hope you're doing well, bud.
No, he'd be 100.
Oh,
Yeah, he'd be like dead.
should I shout it?
Yeah.
Al, if you're listening.
Nah. Yeah. Poor Al's probably gone now. Yeah.
R.I.P. Al. I hope you had a nice life after that and that you found a family. Anyway, speaking of the holidays, Thanksgiving's coming up. How do you feel about Thanksgiving?
I
You
like
like it?
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Rank it. What's better, Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Christmas is better.
Okay,
But
Thanksgiving or
Thanksgiving
4th of
is-
July?
No, Thanksgiving's number 2.
Nice. What's number 3?
I don't know. I don't really have. There's no number 3 after that.
Oh, you
When
just
it comes to holidays.
yeah, it's just Christmas and then Thanksgiving. Oh, you know what would be fun? Let's test our best friend a meter. Let's say a Thanksgiving dish, and we'll see if we say the same one on the count of 3. Okay, you ready? One.
Hold on, I'm not ready.
Okay.
So this is any dish?
Yeah.
Okay.
A Thanksgiving dish.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
Pumpkin
Green bean
pie.
casserole. Try it one more time. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Turkey.
Pumpkin pie.
Okay. Last time. 1, 2, 3.
Green
Pumpkin
bean
pie.
casserole.
You did that on purpose.
No, I didn't.
Definitely gonna edit that out. Anyway, I don't think I've ever told you about the worst Thanksgiving that my family's ever experienced. Now, before I actually dive into this story, a couple things you should know. This happened in Minnesota. I was still a teenager at the time, so this is also a different version of Beck. Okay, this is teenage Beck, and teenage Beck was like your typical teenager. So just bear that in mind. Okay, so the morning started like any other. It was cold. We had so much snow that Thanksgiving, and it was just freezing temperatures.
Freezing temperatures.
Freezing
This is
temperatures.
Minnesota.
Yes, we were
Right.
living in
Which
Minnesota.
you don't have to even say that. You can just say,
Well, we
we're
sometimes-
having Thanksgiving in Minnesota, and everyone knows there's freezing temperatures.
And everyone knows we're freezing outside.
Yes.
Well, we had some Thanksgivings that didn't have any snow.
Oh,
But this one in particular,
but you probably still had freezing temperatures.
probably. Anyway, so this one was
Do you even
very
have
cold and
turkeys
icy.
in Minnesota?
Do we have turkeys?
Yeah. Like, besides being shipped in, like, are there actual turkeys in Minnesota?
Yeah, people go turkey hunting and
Do
stuff. Yeah.
I didn't know.
Thanksgiving. Minnesota's a big hunting place.
I didn't know if it was just like polar bears up there, and that's what you guys ate.
Polar bears and Arctic foxes.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
some
and Arctic
penguins.
foxes and and white bunnies.
Yeah. Oh, Al.
Yeah.
I really hope he's not listening.
He probably didn't like Minnesota when he visited.
No, probably not at
Lots
all.
of white stuff.
That's true. Anyway, so it's very cold out. I have a lot of siblings. So everyone knows in a large family, you all kind of have a role to like keep the day going.
Okay.
This person's getting the kids ready. This person is cooking stuff or whatever. So my mom's in the kitchen. She's cooking away. A bunch of us are helping. The other ones are watching the kids. My dad was going to go out and bring in like all of our Christmas decorations because this used to be when we would decorate for Christmas on Thanksgiving, you know, before we like realized that you should do it before. So he was going to go get that stuff.
Okay.
And we're all just getting through the day. I was upset. I remember being upset that morning because I didn't have time to put makeup on yet. And
Because that's important.
yes.
Because you're around your family,
Well, and I knew we'd have
And-
pictures taken that
and no
day.
one wants to look at Becca without her makeup on.
Yeah, and the Jonas Brothers were on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, so I wanted to make sure I didn't miss that either.
Wait, on
There
TV?
was a lot going on that morning.
You mean like you're going to the parade?
No, we're just watching on TV.
Okay,
But I didn't want to
so
miss
do
their
you think
segment.
they can see you?
Yeah, I think Joe could see through the TV.
Oh, okay.
I was hoping.
Because the makeup. Why do you need makeup?
Because I wanted to look nice, and I knew we'd have pictures taken of the fam.
So you don't look nice without makeup?
Are you saying I look nice without makeup?
I'm just saying, you clearly don't.
I was a
think so.
teenager, David. You know, it's a different time.
I've never seen you without makeup on, so it's probably not. I don't know which way I'd go on it.
You're walking a thin line here, buddy. So I wanted to put my makeup on. I was supposed to be getting the kids ready, and
You're getting the
cutting up-
kids ready and putting the makeup on.
Yeah,
How many kids?
I have 8 siblings.
Yeah, but they're not all kids.
No, but there was probably like the 4 youngest. I always would help,
So
like do
there's
their
4
hair
under
and
you.
whatever. No, there's 5 under me.
There's 5 kids younger than you.
Yeah, hold on, let me count them: Leah, Hannah, Susanna, Deb, Samuel. Yeah, there's 5.
So there's okay. So for everyone who's listening, Becca lives in a small village which is her family.
Yes, I did. I lived in a small village that was the Erickson Nation, which is what my family called. My parents called us. Anyway, so I'm trying to get ready, and we're trying to help with everything. And everyone was kind of like, "Where's Dad? Where's Dad?" But then it was just like, whatever, he wasn't around. Finally, I remember we had a foyer when you walk into the house. So it was like this little foyer, and then you could either go up the stairs or down the stairs. And I
Okay.
looked over, and my dad was laying on the ground of the foyer.
Was he okay?
Well, this is where teenage Becca came into play. I was like, Dad, you're not being funny. Get up and help us. And then I walked
Nice.
away.
Wow. Wow.
I thought he was like doing a bit because like that's what my dad does. Like he tries to be like hilarious.
Oh, so it's like the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah.
You're just like, I'm falling for this. This is not the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Get up. And you kicked him and then you moved on.
I didn't kick. I was just like, oh my God, Dad. It's not the time to lay around in the foyer. So
How
I
old
left.
were you?
Maybe 16 or 17.
Okay. This is 16-year-old Becca.
Yeah. And so then I kind of went about my day. And then finally I heard someone, I think it might have been one of my younger siblings, that were like, Daddy, are you okay? Turns out my dad had fallen on the ice,
Oh my
like
God.
slipped. He didn't have his phone on him. That's
Wait.
why we didn't know where he was for a little bit. He had to army crawl into the house.
Oh, so he managed to crawl into the house. I was going to say if he slipped on the ice, how'd he get inside?
Yeah. And then he had to crawl inside. And you know what? I love my dad. This is a little bit on him, though. He wore slippers outside. Why would you do that when there's ice?
I mean, why do you even have slippers in Minnesota? You guys should just be walking around in giant fur coats.
What about for our feet?
Oh, yeah. Well, you should have those giant, like, boots that, like,
Mush.
yeah,
mush,
right.
mush.
Like, you see those,
Yeah, the sled
the
dogs.
sled dog
Yeah, we
people
shouldn't
wear.
even step foot on the ground. We should just get on our sled and just mush,
Yeah.
mush.
Yeah.
You're right. Well, in this instance, that didn't happen. It was slippers. And so he slipped. Army crawled inside. And my dad is 6'7". Okay. So there's a bunch of us kids trying to get him up the stairs. So he's sat on a recliner. We're kind of like, do we take him in? Or is he okay? My dad has a high pain tolerance. So he was kind of like, oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Next thing we know, we're smelling something. It does
Oh, no.
not smell good. We're looking over. There's smoke all
Oh.
over in the kitchen. My mom opens the oven. Huge flames just coming out. It was the turkey juices somehow like got to the bottom of the oven, and it caused an oven fire. So luckily, she had just saw on Oprah like 2 days before that if you grab like baking soda or baking powder and you throw it on there, it will make the fire go away. Well, it's so smoky in the house. So everyone's like coughing. My eyes, unfortunately, I'd already put my mascara on. It's running down my face, which is also making me mad. But I can't see. My eyes are burning. So I push my siblings out of the way to get out to our deck. So I open the door. So first of all, we can't breathe because of the smoke. But then when you walk outside and it's like negative 50
Yeah, it
degrees,
catches
you
you.
can't breathe that way either. So it's just a bunch of kids like screaming, crying, trying to breathe. Some of the crying was happening because I pushed them
Aw.
out of the way. Anyway, so then we got the fire, that was fine. We finished the turkey being baked.
Wait, whoa.
It was very dry that year.
But the turkey, though, like, wouldn't it be covered in baking soda?
No, it was in one of those like bags, if you could bake a
Oh,
turkey, but
okay,
somehow the grease still got out of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which
Okay.
caused the fire. And the problem is anything that we cooked in the oven after it that day tasted kind of char-y. So like we had, at the very end, right before you serve the meal, you pop in like the rolls because you want the rolls to be warm. Well, we're all sitting down and I think it was my sister Hannah was like, does this taste like maybe like burnt to you? And everyone was like, don't.
Yeah, just eat it.
It was like a very silent Thanksgiving.
That's a shame.
And then it turned out we did finally take my dad in after that. His leg was broken.
His leg was broken?
His leg was broken.
So he ate through Thanksgiving and then was like,
Sorry, Dad.
Oh, man.
I mean, he said he was fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
And
is quite a Thanksgiving.
The worst part about the whole Thanksgiving, though, is we weren't able to decorate for Christmas that day. So really, that's the biggest travesty because my dad, he didn't bring the stuff in.
Yeah. That's the travesty. It wasn't that your dad broke his leg, hurt his back.
We knew that
Nearly
was going to
died.
fix.
Nearly
That was going
died.
to get fixed.
Yeah.
But like, where's my freaking tree?
Yeah, and what's funny is when you were talking about how the turkey was burning and your dad was hurt and the smoke was filling the house.
Yeah.
The only thing you could think of was the fact that your mascara was falling all over your face.
Well, do you know how hard it is to scrub mascara off of your face?
I mean, that is a very selfish 16-year-old Becca.
I really was.
Would you be like that today?
No.
Uh-huh.
If I saw my dad laying there, I'd be like, "Are you okay?" And then if I figured out he was doing like a bit, I would be like, "Get out of here." But if not, if he was like, "Hey, I broke my leg," I'd be more helpful.
Would you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I also wonder if your mascara was just leaking all over your face, if you'd start worrying about Becca again.
You know what's really bad is I didn't get to see the Jonas Brothers live. I missed their performance. So there was it literally was hands down the worst Thanksgiving anyone could have ever experienced.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
truly.
And you remember it to this day.
Yeah. I mean, I remember stuff
You'll never
from,
forget it.
It wasn't even 10 years ago. Do you not remember things like?
Wasn't even 10 years ago. You were 16.
Oh, shoot.
Becca, you are a lot older than
I
you
need
think
to edit
you
that
are.
out. In my mind, I'm 26. Anyway, so this Thanksgiving, though, is my very first Thanksgiving that I will be turkeyless.
That's a shame.
That's a shame.
Because turkeys are important in Thanksgiving. Matter of fact, the whole point of Thanksgiving is to eat a turkey.
Yeah, it's not to be thankful.
No.
It's like, give me that dead bird.
It's the purpose of Thanksgiving is population control of the turkeys. And you're not doing your part. You're being selfish once again.
Are you like the turkey president?
No, not
Is this the message you're trying to send out?
I'm just trying to say that there is a lot of turkeys out there.
Most of the time, turkey is dry as crap.
If it's made right, it's not.
It's just not good even.
I love
what's
turkey.
I love all the sides.
Yeah, the sides are good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, depends on what side, but yeah, they're usually good. They're usually pretty good.
I mean, it'll be an interesting experience, I feel like. I was thinking about bringing a tofurkey to the dinner table. Are you guys the family that, here's a question too. Are you guys a Thanksgiving lunch kind of family or a Thanksgiving dinner kind of family? Because I was raised in a Thanksgiving lunch kind of family. But I do worry and wonder about when I get married, are they going to be a Thanksgiving dinner kind of family? Because I prefer the lunch aspect. What do you guys do?
Okay, so what I grew up with, Thanksgiving dinner. Okay. Everyone showed up around, I don't know, 1-ish, and we hung out for a while, watched like football and TV, whatever, and then we had Thanksgiving dinner, and then we hang out for a little bit longer, and then we go call it a night. Holly, at least as far as I could tell from the moment I came here to Kentucky and met her, they were a Thanksgiving lunch family.
Love it.
And that pretty much, like, we would go over her grandparents. They would always have a Thanksgiving. It was always around lunch, sometime around noon or 1 o'clock.
Yeah, perfect time to eat.
And then we would, call it, or I would usually sometimes leave a little early after eating, maybe hang out for a little bit, then leave, and then come back and pick them up because it was her family, so she could stay and enjoy her time with her family.
You just wanted that big old turkey nap.
I just wanted to show up, say hi, talk a little, and then
you want to show up, eat the food.
Well, I'm not like a huge eater of now back when it's my old family, I would eat a lot, but her family, it just depends on what they were having, you know.
Sure.
But anyway, so
it was a lunch.
It was a lunch. Okay. So now what are we at now? What's our situation? Well, when we have Thanksgiving at our house, it's dinner.
Oh.
Yes.
Why? You like that better?
I like it better. And I don't think Holly cares either way.
Oh.
Plus, getting everything ready that early is just a lot. There's a lot to get ready.
I know, but it's so nice because then here's the thing. So you get up, you're cooking all the food, you get to have this wonderful lunch, and then everyone kind of relaxes a little bit. You play some games, maybe eat a little bit of pie. And then the best part is the Thanksgiving leftovers for dinner. So everything's already been made. Everyone's in their pajamas, and you can just heat up the portions that you want to have again.
No, we don't reheat anything.
Yeah, you have this weird rule.
I don't eat leftovers.
I know. And you know what? You're missing out on the best kind because everyone knows that Thanksgiving leftovers are superior to all leftovers. Do you never even have like a Thanksgiving sandwich? Back when
No.
I used to still eat the meat, it was like
I
you had the
can-
bread, the meat,
Yeah.
the stuffing, the cranberries on there, maybe a tiny bit of gravy, and just
Would you eat
yum.
it?
Yeah, Thanksgiving sandwich.
Leftover sandwich.
Yes.
Oh, sounds so gross.
Oh no.
Listen, I will. I there are some things I can do leftovers on. It's a very small list. But
Okay. And
like,
what does
if-
that list entail?
Like if a turkey was in the fridge after it was cooked, I can maybe pick at it a little. But
You can't
otherwise,
even eat the turkey after the next day.
Not really. Maybe a little, but not a whole lot. When I was a kid, my entire life was based around leftovers. My dad would make a giant thing of spaghetti.
I feel like I'm reading your biography right now.
It kind of is. This is a memoir moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
My dad would make this giant thing of spaghetti sauce, and we would have spaghetti for like a week straight. So
Who
like,
doesn't love pasta?
but it's like it would just be like this massive thing of spaghetti sauce. He'd throw like Italian sausage in there. It wasn't bad. It was just spaghetti, 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 leftover, leftover, leftover. You know, just all these leftovers. Then he would make, cabbage soup or something nasty.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. And we would eat off of that for like a week. Like everything was like, what can I make that we can have for a week straight? You know.
But you do know that as an adult now, you don't have to eat the leftovers for a week straight. You could just eat it the next day.
Or just not at all. Or just not at all.
So this isn't like a germ thing or anything for you. This is just like I don't like doing this anymore.
I said to myself when I was like 12 or 13, I don't know what year.
Whoa,
but
you really stuck to your guns.
I said that when I can buy my own food, I'm not eating leftovers anymore.
Yeah, you were like, I'm just going to throw money down the toilet.
There's no
because-
throwing money down the toilet. I just consume it all in the first day. I eat as
Stop.
much.
Is that what you
as-
actually do?
Yes. I am a human garbage disposal. I will just eat and eat and eat until I feel like I'm about to throw up. And then I say, okay, I've had enough. And what's left over will just have to be wasted.
Yeah, that seems like a better approach for sure.
So Thanksgiving, we have to decide like how many sides we're going to have because Dave's not going to eat leftovers. So we need to make sure. So like, when Holly
are the
makes-
rest of your family members normal? Will they eat the leftovers?
Yeah.
Okay.
So because Colin hadn't gone through my life,
Right.
Holly didn't go through my life. Okay. The life of continuous. You know what else my dad used to make? He used to make something called monkey meat. Now I
Oh, that
think
sounds nasty.
I think monkey meat has a different answer for anyone who's ever had it. Like I think if you Google it, you're going to get like different recipes. Because I did that just because I was curious. But my dad's version of monkey meat, which we didn't have leftovers of, thank God. Because the first time wasn't good either.
How do you get your kids to eat something called monkey meat?
Well, that's what he called it. This is what it was. Okay?
Okay.
We didn't have a lot of money.
Mhm.
It was ground meat. Okay,
Okay.
so like burger meat. Okay,
So ground beef.
yeah, he would cook it.
Okay. I would
Then
hope.
then he would add flour on top of the ground beef.
Ew. My stomach's already turning.
Okay, then he would take a piece of
Oh my
white
God.
bread
Okay.
and he would put the floured ground beef onto the white bread,
Why is he flouring the cow?
and that was monkey meat, and that's
Wait.
what we ate
Was there seasonings?
once every so often, huh?
Were there seasonings
That-
involved?
I don't think I think
Ketchup?
maybe he threw some salt and pepper in there. I don't know. I didn't taste it.
Ew.
It was the most gross looking, gross tasting thing I've ever had.
Did you at least have like a veggie on the side?
I mean, there was probably sides. I don't remember, but
Oh.
that was the main dish.
Yikes.
Yeah, white bread, which would get soggy from the meat and
Oh,
the
God.
flour. White bread, meat, flour, monkey meat.
I understand you more now, but also I'm still confused. Why would he add flour to the beef?
I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't know why he called it monkey meat. That's just what he did.
There's so many
And
questions.
that's what I grew up with. It was the most disgusting thing next to the cabbage soup. I mean, it was so bad. And to this day, they say you don't remember things after a certain point in your life. Like when you,
Who says that?
when you're a kid, they say you typically start forgetting your first like 12 years. Once you hit around 13 or so, you start to forget the early years.
Oh.
So you might be able to remember some of the stuff in your early life, but after that, it all starts to become like faded, and you don't remember the true story. You just remember like pieces, maybe, or not much of it.
Yeah.
So, and they don't know why, but like that's what they say. And this is something that stuck with me, and
Because it's traumatic.
I still remember it to this day. Yes,
The monkey meat.
the monkey meat.
Monkey meat.
Don't
Dave.
ever do that to your kids.
You know, I was thinking about as soon as we were finished here, I was just going to go get some beef and flour and bread because, wow, that sounds.
The only thing I think of is Dad didn't have a lot in like the cupboard or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
he didn't have a lot of like stuff going. So he's like, what can I do? I've got ground beef. I've got some flour and I've got a few pieces of white bread left over. And I haven't hit the grocery store yet. What am I going to do? Well, I'll just try it out. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. And he was like,
he
what
created
a,
this concoction.
and he thought it was yummy.
I don't know
What
what
a
he thought.
delicacy.
And you know how sometimes when you're parents, when you're a kid, your parents make something disgusting, and there's always like the fix. The fix is called ketchup.
Yeah, for sure.
You can always add ketchup, and it will fix it. That's your getaway.
Yeah.
Like because Dad used to make meatloaf a lot. Ugh, I can't stand meatloaf.
No.
It's like the worst. It's so terrible. I know a lot of people like meatloaf. I do not like meatloaf.
Yeah.
Well.
Because you've been traumatized by
And
this
I've had
beef.
leftover meatloaf is worse than meatloaf, right? Because if you notice, when we have it once, we have it for the next like 4 or 5 days.
And it gets dry when you reheat it.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I
you
guess.
wouldn't know.
I mean, I don't remember it, but I just remember it being disgusting, and I wouldn't eat it. But if I put enough ketchup on it, I could maybe get by enough to where I wasn't starving that night. Well. The monkey meat ketchup does not fix. You can't put ketchup on floured
On
burger
flour
meat.
beef.
You can't. It does not help.
You know what's weird is I have been meatless since June, so a couple months now. And I grew up eating meat my whole life, but the thought of eating a real burger at this point actually makes my stomach feel nauseous.
Well, that's a shame because
Isn't that weird?
I absolutely love burgers.
I mean, if I get a hankering for a burger, I just eat like a Beyond Beef patty and that's fine. But like the thought of a real burger with the like kind of bloodyish pinky in the middle or whatever.
Did you say bloodyish pinky?
Yeah.
What does
when
that
it's
mean?
like pinky and kind of bloody.
Well, you get your burgers well done.
Ugh.
You're not even supposed to have them done that way unless they grind the beef that day. You should never get your burger made anything other than well done.
Oh, I didn't realize I was talking to the
I've read into this
burger
because I've grind my own
connoisseur.
meat.
You grind your own meat.
I have, and
You have a meat grinder.
That's right.
Are you Jeffrey Dahmer?
No, I don't
Blink twice.
I'm not the person who got. I'm not the person who got kidnapped.
Who just
Why
has
would
a
I blink
meat
twice?
grinder? Hey, my name is Dave, and I've got a meat grinder.
Because I wanted to make my own burgers, so I went and I got a meat grinder.
You know, you can just go to the store and you just get meat that's already done.
No,
so
it's
you
not the
take a
same.
big slab of meat
I get a steak.
and you put it in this thing,
Right.
And you push it in.
I had
and
to cut it up
and it's
first.
like, and it's coming out in those little worm-like.
Yes,
Ah,
you know what a meat grinder is,
ah. Why would you do that?
and you run it through
And
twice.
you touch it with your hands.
Well, you
Oh.
wash your hands.
Ugh. You do it twice?
You run it through twice.
Oh my
the
God.
first time's not enough. You have to run at least through 2 times. At least 2 times.
Ugh.
And then you kind of mix your own meats. You go, okay, I'm a little chuck, a little brisket, and then you see if you like it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
No.
It's messy.
Fun.
It's messy because sometimes the meat
Hey,
gets
Dave,
all over
what do
the
you do for
floor.
fun? I grind beef.
I'm sorry. Some of us don't read constantly in our entire life so we can read 70-some books a year, okay?
I'm
some
at
of
80.
us
I'm at 84 now, Dave.
some of us do other things like
Yeah.
that are fun, like tearing up steak and throwing it into a grinder
You sound literally like an axe murderer.
and then making burgers.
Mm.
Delicious burgers at the
But you
house.
have to only make enough that you can consume in that moment.
What?
But you only make enough burgers that you consume in that moment because you wouldn't make extra because you'd have to throw them away because you couldn't
No.
enjoy them.
Well, wait, the meat's not cooked. So you freeze the rest and then you pull it out as you
So
eat it.
wait, that's fine?
That's not cooked meat. It's not a leftover.
You have way too many rules.
That's not even it.
It doesn't make sense.
A
David.
leftover is food that's been heated and cooked and then is left over.
You eat soup in a can.
It's not the same. That's specially protected soup.
Okay, so last night we watched a movie, and I couldn't tell by your face this morning when I brought it up if you liked it or you didn't like it. It's an Amazon Prime original. Kristen Bell, Ben Platt, Allison.
I don't know.
I
the
forget her name,
actors
Janie or
actresses'
something.
names.
And it's called People You Hate at Weddings. So just before you say anything, on a scale of 1 to 5,
1 to 10.
fine. On a scale of 1 to 10, what does that matter, David?
Because 5 gets very, like if I say a 3, that may,
Whatever. I don't need the explanation. 1 to 10.
okay.
What are you giving it?
I give it a 6.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Not a 6 because it's entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There was some funny moments.
Mm-hmm.
There was. And then it wasn't like just out in left field. Like everything kind of made sense.
Everything absolutely made sense.
Yeah.
You going to ask me what my rating was?
No.
Guess
Yes,
it.
What was your reading?
Guess it.
Oh,
Guess
I
it.
can guess.
Okay, what
Because
is it?
you're just so, everything's so great. I'm going to say it's a 9.
Oh, no, I was going to say 8.
Oh, wow. I was off by 1.
What didn't you like about
If
it?
you
I thought
give
it was so
Becca-
funny.
If
I
you
like
give Becca a movie and you say rate it, it's either an 8, a 9, or a 10. There's nothing under 7
That's not true.
or 7 or under. There's never.
No, that's not true.
Anyway,
I've
go
seen
ahead.
bad movies. Okay, I liked the movie because I liked the family aspect of it. I just felt it was relatable. And it was so funny. Like, it was kind of like this quick-witted humor, which I like watching. Ben Platt's character was my favorite. He was like that
Kristen
therapist. Oh, I mean, she was good, too.
Bell. She was the best one in it.
That's because you just love Kristen Bell.
Kristen Bell is a great actress and comedy actress, especially because she was in A Good Place. And
Oh, yeah.
I love that show.
Yeah, that one is a good one.
The first season of that show is the best season by far. But
There was another actress in this movie that was in that. Janice or whatever.
who is Janice?
She, I think that was her name.
Oh, yeah.
The
She
Good
had a
Place.
very brief moment. 'cause
Yeah,
she
but-
played the
Like the
the-
plant
the-
water lady.
she was like the AI from The Good Place, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She was great, though.
Yeah, she did. She was very short in that film because that was when Kristen Bell was dropping the
Yeah.
underwear and she was trying to play it off.
Yeah.
And Janice apparently had the same situation happen to her numerous times.
It was so funny. So what did you not like about it?
Oh, I wouldn't say there wasn't anything I didn't like about it. It's a comedy. So, I have certain things that I look at. First, does it make me laugh, right? That obviously has to happen. It's a comedy, right? And there were parts that made me laugh. It wasn't like laughter continuously. Then there was, does the movie make sense? Like, or do they just like, does everyone like that one movie? What was it? Do Revenge, where
Oh, yeah.
everyone's,
It was over the top.
yeah, it was just too much.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense. It wasn't like reality. It has to have a sense of reality in it. And that the movie was pretty much realistic throughout the whole thing. Like there wasn't a moment where I'm like, oh, this doesn't make sense. There was a scene where, and obviously we're talking about the movie, so spoiler alert continuously. But there was a scene when, Kristen Bell, it's Kristen Bell, right? Yeah. She had, her lover or whatever was her boss, and the wife was using his phone and coming to visit, and she showed up, and I said to Colin, because he didn't watch the whole thing, but he watched parts of it, my son, and he was like, as we're watching, I said, she better not pull out a gun. She better not pull out a gun because this is a scene where they pull out a gun.
Yeah. It's like
And-
over the top a little
Right. And that would make no sense because how would she get a gun there? First, she's in the United States. She's not going to get on the plane. Okay. And then even if she came to England, they don't sell guns like left and right like the United States do. So I was like, she better not pull a gun out. She didn't. She said, I'm going to punch you. She put her fists up. She wanted a fist fight. I was like, thank God they didn't do that because I was afraid they'd make that mistake.
Yeah.
And that would have just turned me off and made me like, what? That doesn't
That
make any
one
sense.
thing would have turned you
Oh,
off
that's
that
all
much?
it takes. It just takes that one thing. But otherwise, it was really good. Like, it had the guy from Schitt's Creek in it, who was who was the girl in Schitt's Creek? What was her name? Not David, but it's the sister.
Alexis.
Alexis.
Oh, Ted. Yes, Ted was in the movie.
Had Alexis's boyfriend. in
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and he played the same character.
He was so
I don't-
lovable.
I don't know if he's like that's the only character he can play, but clearly,
No, I felt like he was less awkward in this than he is as Ted.
no,
Oh,
he was
so
not.
cute. I loved him. Deb was watching with me and she was like, Ted deserves better.
Yeah, like he was totally Ted. Is that the character's name from Schitt's Creek?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
When he sat down and they first met, that whole scene, and then he's like, "We're gonna watch Paddington together."
Yeah.
And he opens it up. Deb looks at me and she said, "That is you would have fallen in love in that moment," and I would have.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is he was pretty much the same character from Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, but it works for him.
I guess Alexis must have broke up with him, and that was him. They never said what he did though, and he obviously must have some money because he flew first class back and forth.
Well, they said that the job paid for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said
Did they? Okay. I was just trying to think maybe he was like an owner or something like that.
I
or-
liked their relationship though. That was
It
cute.
was, and he kept looking past her faults, even though she kept treating him
badly.
like not badly, but like just kind of like
Kind of badly.
you're my backup, you know?
Yeah, I mean, she was going through a lot. There were many layers to her character. She had been going through a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So some of the movie was a little raunchier than what I prefer.
Yeah. I mean, the scene with the threesome part was a little like, it was funny, kind of, but it was also kind of awkward. It felt kind of
But
awkward.
I felt like it didn't go too far, because I was like, how far are they going to take this?
It didn't go too far.
Yeah,
You're right.
so that
it
part
was,
was nice.
yeah, and it was funny that he was bringing up the threesome at the wedding. I like that. Like, I like that he was bringing up how awkward and what he went through. And I liked his character that he wanted to be monogamous, I guess you could say. But his boyfriend, you could tell, was definitely not on board with that. Like,
Right.
But his boyfriend was just
He was
just an
the worst.
asshat.
Yeah, truly.
And what I couldn't grasp until it came out was why he was mad at the sister from England. But then it came out later because I knew why he was mad at the mom.
Yeah.
But I couldn't figure out why he was mad. But it was just because he was standing up for his sister,
Yeah.
Kristen. I don't remember her name in the movie. But one thing I'll say is the chick from England looks so much older
I thought that too.
than the rest of them.
Yeah.
Like obviously he was young. He's like 20. I looked up his age in real life. He's like 29. She's 42.
Oh,
Kristen Bell is.
yeah.
But the other chick from England's 37. I'm like, how does Kristen Bell look so much better than the chick from England?
You really like Kristen
I'm just
Bell.
saying though, like she's aged so much better. Because the girl from England just did not. She looked old. She looked like she was like in her late 40s.
Well, she was supposed to be the oldest sibling, so I guess
Well,
that
they
worked
made
for
that
casting.
happen. They made that happen. I mean, really.
The worst part of the movie was her wedding dress.
And what does that say
It
about
was so
you? as the-
ugly
Oh, yeah, I know. And,
with the flowers.
And her character was. I did not like her character.
Yeah.
Like-
you kind of understand more at the end, but at the same time, I'm not going to say exactly what happens between her and Kristen, but when that comes to, like, the viewer finds out why she did what she did, it was kind of like, "Ugh, what?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, there's a lot going on between both of them. But either way, what I'm getting at is like you would like when I'm looking at the characters and I'm like, she looks like she looked like she was like in her late 40s, and Kristen Bell looked like in her 30s, and the other guy did look like he was in his 20s. So that all kind of worked out. But I kept thinking to myself, like, how is she like when you're getting cast for that position, that spot, and you're like, you're going to be the older sister to Kristen Bell,
Yeah.
right? Like, and they're like, oh, how old is she? She's 42. And they're like, how old are you? You're 37. What does that say about you? Like, you don't want to be you want to be older if you're going to be the older sister. What does that say about you when you're 37 and the other actress is 42 and you're
mean-
supposed to be older than the other actress?
That's true. I mean, I'd still take the job, though, because money is money. But yeah.
But you
it
get what
maybe
I'm
hurt
like,
your ego
that
a little
kinda
bit. Like,
says like
oh.
you look kind of old.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all wearing makeup.
Yeah.
You know, you look old.
So wait, what was the top 2 things that knocked it down to a 6 really quick, just to recap?
Oh, yeah. So what made it a 6 instead of like a 7, 8, or 9 or whatever?
Yeah.
It wasn't enough funny.
Oh, you
Okay.
wanted more funny.
Yeah. There was some good parts, but it was kind of spaced out. So like every once, like you would watch the movie, you get a little ha moment, and then it'd be like 20, 30 minutes later, another ha moment. So it was.
So what's the timing of a comedy movie? Like, how often do you want to laugh?
If you
what
want
makes
to be,
Dave happy?
if you wanted to, if this movie could have maybe hit a 7, if it had every 10 to 15 minutes, it kept you laughing. Okay. If you want to be an 8, 9, or 10, you need to make me cry laughing.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cry laughing. Like you've made me laugh so hard. I'm literally crying right now. and there are movies out there that have done that to me when I've throughout my years.
Yeah.
Okay, but like this movie would never have hit that. It never came close.
Gotcha.
Now
it's going to be my life mission to find a movie that makes you laugh, cry.
cry laughing.
Yeah. Same thing.
No, totally different. Laugh, cry.
Whatever.
Laugh, cry. That sounds almost like I'm sad, but I'm laughing.
Okay, fine. Cry laughing.
Like the order matters. Okay.
Well, mission accepted. I will find
I don't
this
think
movie.
you will.
I will.
They don't make movies like that anymore.
I'll make one.
And and obviously it also depends on like your age too. Like in your early 20s, you might find something a lot funnier than when you're in your late 30s.
Is that why we have such different taste in movies? Because you're just like so much older than me.
It's because I think it's as you've seen everything.
Yeah.
The
Seen everything.
as you've been through so many comedy
From
movies.
my perch up here.
What I'm saying is, after you've seen so many movies,
Yeah.
you start to become desensitized to what makes you laugh.
I almost said desensitized when you did, and I wish I would have, because then I would have been like, oh, did we just become best friends?
No,
So that stinks.
yeah, no, and it
Just know that in my mind I was saying it with you.
okay.
Anyway, I think you should check out the movie, but apparently David doesn't.
No,
think you
I
should.
think it's worth it. It's worth watching.
6 is worth watching.
It's only an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything 5 or over.
Oh, I didn't realize
5
that.
is average.
Can you just write this rule book? I would love to just peruse it so I understand.
The Incredible Rules of David.
Yeah, please write that. The Incredible Rules of David.
No, always remember the switchy rule.
Oh yeah, the switchies. Don't heat your leftovers.
Yes.
And
Leftovers
anything
are not worth it.
above a 5 is worth a watch.
Anything 5 or over. Not above a 5. You just cut 5 out.
Okay.
Yeah. You need to read the book.
Clearly. Will you sign my copy?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, great. You've been listening to You're Making This Difficult. I'm Beck.
I'm Dave.
Tune in next week.